Hello everybody. I'm going to go over every skill in the combat tree for humans. Here are the passives, which is combat, shield, heavy armor, light armor, dual wield, sword, axe, and blunt mastery. Each one gives different buffs depending on what you're using, but I'm going to focus mainly in this video just with dual wielding swords. So let's get into the skills. Also, I have already created a party and set the finish rule to anyone in the party, so I can follow up with one of the abilities called Assault Slash, because these enemies around here are incredibly weak, but I figure it's the easiest way to show you. So I'm going to start off and open up with Smash. And then the follow-up for Assault Slash, which you see the finished knocked down enemy. Now, if there were enemies standing around here, they would be hit with the splash damage from Assault Slash. There's also Defense, which if an enemy was coming at me, they would be blocked either by my dual swords or whatever I have equipped currently, whatever weapon it is, and it's even better if you're wielding a shield at the time. Let's see if I can't throw a rock and get this. Where is it? Get this wolf to come at me. So here's defense. I'm gonna back up and hit counterattack. So that sends enemies back. You saw that defense stop them right in front of me, and you take very small amounts of damage when your defense is up, and then counter just knocks them right back. And you could follow that up, follow counter up, or even windmill, which this is windmill, which would do a huge area of effect, about this, with rank 1, which is the max rank. And I'm going to equip this shield, Holy Eagle Mask, which will allow me to charge, use an ability called Charge. You just fly in from a distance away and basically hit them with your shield. The next ability is Rage Impact, which you see that area of effect there. It would do damage all around and also cause enemies to take more damage from physical attacks. Now I'm going to turn this finish off and load up this ability called Final Hit, which I can teleport a great distance to any enemy that I can target. It's very quick. As long as there's an enemy in sight, this is the teleport. It's pretty large. Say there was an archer coming your way with an arrow, you would go and just dodge the arrow with this skill called Evasion. Also, one of the strongest single target damage abilities with combat that you can do is Bash. I'll show you that now. And each time you bash, it'll get stronger and stronger. You see this little icon down here. That pretty much sums up regular combat, like close combat, except for he's aggroing me a little bit. Crisis Escape. See, now I turned into this weird little thing, and he's not paying attention to me at all. So now we're going to get into Lance Combat, which is basically all the same skills, just instead of using swords, blunts, like maces, mace weapons, or axes, you use this large lance, and you need to be pretty far away, not pretty far, but out of melee range like that, instead of like how you would be right on top of them. So lance basically just penetrates through defense and protection passively because it has pierce levels. But there are two skills with lances in general, which is lance charge, which is a bit like charge, just using a lance. And if there were any enemies along the path, they would be just knocked left and right out of the way. And then, like counter before, there's a lance counter. And since I already showed you counter, I'm not even going to bother showing you lance counter because it's literally the same thing. Now, I will show you range. This is a bow. The only bow abilities are crossbow mastery, bow mastery, range attack, urgent shot, magnum shot, support shot, arrow revolver, and crash shot. I'm going to try and purposefully miss so I can use urgent shot. There we go. That's urgent shot, which if you miss an arrow, you just load up the skill and immediately sling an arrow. There's no load time on that arrow travel. The next up is magnum shot, which is like smash but with a bow. That would pierce through defense. Actually, it would ding if they had a shield, but it would pierce defense if they didn't have a shield. Next up is support shot, which doesn't interrupt. It looks like a normal ranged attack since they die, but if it didn't kill an enemy, it would cause any physical damage to be increased by 70%, and it wouldn't interrupt the stun duration or anything, or push a enemy back. Next up is arrow revolver, which stacks 5 arrows at once, and you just sling them. And the last one is crash shot, which you load up, and then there are fragments that burst out from the arrow that's shot. Lag. I'll show you one more time. And if there were a bunch of enemies, it would go to them as well in the area. And then the last skill in the entire combat tree is Gold Strike, but I don't really consider it combat, even though it's there. Technically is double trained by merchant class, but I'll show you what that's like. You can load it up to 10 times, and every time you do, this gold bag that you're going to throw gets larger and larger. So now, if you actually have the gold that you can throw, which the max of 10 charges is going to be just 10k, but it hits pretty hard for just tossing gold. And that kind of made me a liar. But yeah, that's the combat tree. Stick around because I'm going to be showing every single combat tree. See you guys in the next one.